Hello friends, welcome to the King YouTube channel. Prince Harry has surprised his host with some astonishing news. Trust me, this one is truly shocking. Stay calm and make sure you watch the entire video to catch all the details. Most people know that Prince Harry was eager for his father, King Charles, and his younger brother, Prince William, to read his book Spare. From what we understand, they've likely given it their approval. However, Harry has shared several different versions of events. Now, it's fascinating to see how this particular detail from Colombia has made such a huge impact. The world has learned that Franny Marquez decided to invite Harry and Meghan on a trip to Colombia. This journey, however, would come at a significant cost to Colombian taxpayers, as she was deeply inspired by them. Inspired by watching the Harry and Meghan Netflix docu-series, which consisted of 6 episodes, Franny Marquez seemed deeply moved by the situation. Harry had openly shared how he struggled to get his family to understand or acknowledge the challenges that he and Meghan, the former Duchess of Sussex, had faced. When Franny learned about this, she was completely shocked and found it hard to believe. She thought it was a brilliant idea to share this story as an inspiring tale of overcoming adversity. Franny felt that if more people, especially young women who look up to figures like Harry and Meghan, could watch this documentary series, they would be just as motivated and inspired as she was. It goes even further now, as it's reported that Franny actually asked, "What do you mean?" when she heard about the situation. It's important to note that none of the royal family members have publicly seen or commented on the documentary. Many people are aware that it's unclear whether His Majesty the King, Prince William, or Catherine have watched any of the episodes. As for the speculation, what do you think? Have the royals watched any of the documentary series? If you believe they have, leave a comment with one, and if you think they haven't, let us know too. Ultimately, it's a private matter, and it's up to them whether they choose to engage with it. But as for Harry, of course. It seems Harry is hoping for some kind of public acknowledgement confirmation that his family has seen the documentary and understands the traumas he has faced. According to the source, Franny and her team were stunned. From her perspective, she brought Harry and Meghan to Colombia because she was inspired by them. It's a clever move on her part, isn't it? However, it appears that the rest of his family isn't moved by the ongoing accusations, whether related to alleged racist remarks or other issues. This visit, which had high hopes, seems to be falling apart for all the wrong reasons. It's important to note that Harry and Meghan see themselves as an alternative to the traditional royal court. As I mentioned before, while the British royal family may not be able to visit certain parts of the world for various reasons, Harry and Meghan are more than willing to go to those places. If you can't get the actual royals, you might consider the budget version. With Harry and Meghan, though, that of course comes at a price. No matter where they decide to settle, they should be welcomed. Franny, being a fan of their Netflix series, turned this into a rather expensive vanity trip. All of this has led to what we're seeing now. So regardless of the original intentions, this delicate tour, meant to relaunch the Sussexes and focus on a single topic, is starting to unravel. At this point, people have moved on from platforms that once promoted superficial ideals and have distanced themselves from online bullying. Hardly anyone watched our series. Can you see how things are unfolding now? In the end, attention always circles back to them, but still, no one seems to care about these two hypocrites. We've all seen their actions, and many of us wish they would just stop. Instead of talking about children and trying to portray themselves as good parents, why not just stay home and actually be parents? Instead of pretending to be working royals, especially at the expense of a country facing financial struggles, they should focus on their family. They embarked on their frivolous tour, possibly depriving the needy while racking up costs for travel, clothing, and excessive security. It's shameful. I wonder if the Colombian people realized that PS 1.5 million of their tax money was spent on this tour, also that they could play at being royalty. People have come to a collective realization that Harry can never be trusted and should never be allowed back into the royal family, whether physically or as a member. He should be permanently exiled, barred from attending any royal functions. I respect King Charles III, who may consider placing Harry in a protected, secure, and closely monitored institution. Harry has exploited his mother's death as a shield for far too long, using it as a get-out-of-jail card. This is a man who has lived his life in luxury, with a family that provided him with everything he ever wanted. Yet, his words have deeply hurt those who have faced real hardships. I'm utterly fed up with these people. Harry is a middle-aged man, though he looks much older now. it's time for Harry and Meghan to be quiet. Most of us adapt our behavior to different situations, being social at gatherings, serious at official events, and focused at work, but they seem unable to grasp this. Harry and Meghan only seem to operate on one level: forced smiles, silly jokes, and flirtatious behavior. What you see is what you get every time, and it's become tiresome. It's truly mind boggling. I'm shocked that more hasn't been said about this unpleasant part of their so called fairy tale, especially with Harry's book, Spare. I feel sorry for the people of Colombia who had to foot the bill for Harry and Meghan's ridiculous tour. I'm curious about the criteria they used to determine the level of security. It seems excessive for someone who's essentially an unemployed opportunist. At this point, Harry is just a passenger in his own life. People are growing weary of their constant whining. Does Franny know that Harry has never even met his father-in-law, who lives just a few hours away? Or that Meghan didn't invite any of her family except her mother to their wedding? Someone should definitely make Franny aware of the lies in the Netflix series and in Harry's book. It seems likely that Meghan and her mother planned this together before the wedding, figuring out how to get as much money, jewelry, and luxury items sent to America. That's probably why Meghan keeps her mother so close. The vanity trip, where the vice president was so taken by Meghan in a documentary, ended up costing Colombian taxpayers PS 1.3 million. If I were Colombian, I'd be demanding that she resign. Isn't she planning to run for president? Oh, Franny, what a colossal mistake you've made, being so ridiculously inspired by a woman who never embraced her black heritage, who saw herself as white and felt insulted when identified as black, even rejecting a black sorority invitation. Uneasy around black people, Harry and Meghan are far from inspirational. Here's one affirmation for them: you are liars, you are greedy, and you are cruel to your families. Repeat that to yourselves 3 times a day and maybe find some enlightenment. After all the chaos Harry has caused within the royal family, I still can't understand why he hasn't been stripped of his title. Parliament has the power to remove Harry and any supposed offspring from the line of succession and take away their titles. Sure, they can travel wherever they want, but not while pretending to be part of the royal family they aren't anymore. Harry is only a former royal because he abandoned his duties, his family, and his country. As for Meghan, she never was, isn't, and never will be royal. Meghan isn't even a British citizen, which adds another layer to the issue. My question is why Harry allowed the vice president so much control over the country's finances. I read that Meghan contacted the vice president using Prince Harry's status to request a visit to Colombia, believing she could influence the discussions. It's laughable Harry and Meghan are only known for their dishonesty and online bullying. I doubt the vice president is still a fan of Meghan, especially after she inappropriately bear hugged, kissed, and rubbed against the vice president's husband. Imagine her snuggling up to him, using her elbow to nudge him as if sharing a secret, while turning to smirk at Harry when he was visibly annoyed. Additionally, think about the waste of an Eton education and a spot at Sandhurst and in the British Armed Forces, an opportunity squandered by Harry. It's likely that those institutions are appalled as well. It's a shame Harry doesn't have to repay the cost of his education and training, which could have been used to give less fortunate young people similar opportunities to improve their lives and contribute to Britain. The lack of self-awareness from Harry and Meghan is staggering. The royal family isn't interested in the one-sided stories and fabrications in Harry's book. Why waste time and energy on the Sussexes' biased documentary series on Netflix? With the headlines dominating the news, their next tour should be to Kabul, where women are seeking inspiration and a voice. Do you agree? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the King YouTube channel. Goodbye and see you next time.